What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Merv, and this is the Black and Gold Hour Show. A quick preview show where we talk about the New Orleans Saints matchup in Dallas tomorrow against the Cowboys. Man, I just want to kind of give y'all my quick opinions, quick thoughts about everything surrounding the New Orleans Saints versus, the playoff team, Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a great test for the team. I kind of want to unpack it all in today's episode. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We just want to grow the family, but thank everybody who views and tunes in. I'm grateful and appreciative. But let's get into it, man. The New Orleans Saints, man, I don't know, y'all. Like, we feel on cloud nine right now after the 47-10 victory against the Carolina Panthers. But it's kind of hard to gauge where your team is when you're playing the Carolina Panthers. I was just talking to a Jets fan yesterday, and they were talking about how it's kind of hard to gauge where the Jets are when you played the San Francisco 49ers last week. So we are on the other end of that extreme. And it's just kind of hard to tell where the New Orleans Saints land. I mean, last year we felt like this team could be a playoff team. We know what the defense brings, but what we saw from the offense was something we rarely saw last season. If for the final few games of the season, we did see the offense improve. But what we saw against the Carolina Panthers was big boss energy. It reminded me of the New Orleans Saints from 2011, 2009, 2015, where they were imposing their will and felt like they could score on every possession, which is something we didn't see with Pete Carmichael as offensive coordinator. But now with Clint Kubiak, we're running the ball. We're keeping the ball out of Derek Carr's hands so much. He doesn't have to make all of the big game decisions, but he was efficient and he was on firing on all cylinders last Sunday. But as we go into the Dallas Cowboys game, we know what their secondary is, and we know how Derek Carr has to think. So I think for Derek Carr, one of my first thoughts and points is like how Derek Carr, his efficiency going into the game. I mean, you know, what he's going to be able to do, whether it's quick passes, whether it's not taking those deep shots, not taking those same risks he took with the Panthers, because with the better secondary, we know they have Diggs, you know, they have their other corner on the other side. I'm skipping his name is skipping my brain right now, but he's legit as well. And so Derek Carr can't take those same risks, but what he can do is the quick pass game, which is where Chris Olave will thrive, where Rashid Shaheed will thrive, and where our tight ends, Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson, and Taysom Hill, that's where their bread and money is right there. So I think the tight ends will be a crucial part of the game. And I think the offensive line against the defensive line, Parsons and everything that the Dallas Cowboys defensive line brings, I believe that New Orleans Saints offensive line will be able to do what offensive linemen do best, and that's run the ball. I think Clint Kubiak and the 49ers kind of coaching tree is all about running the ball. It's all about controlling the line of scrimmage. And I believe if the New Orleans Saints can control the line of scrimmage, then, you know, Dallas, you know, then we're in the game. We're in the game, and we know what the New Orleans Saints defense brings. And I think that they're going to continue to kind of they're going to continue to kind of implement those blitzes. And I know we heard the commentator and we watched last season, and the New Orleans Saints aren't a heavy blitzing team, but I think we're going to see a lot more blitzing against Dak Prescott in the Dallas Cowboys offense. I believe that we're going to see a lot of Alontae Taylor coming in on the blitz. We're going to see a lot of Demario Davis coming in on the blitz, Pete Warner coming in on the blitz, because we have to make Dak Prescott uncomfortable in the pocket. We can't let him just dink and dunk and do whatever he wants. And we know what CeeDee Lamb can do. We know what he can do. We know what Brandon Cooks can do. We know about Brandon Cooks. So we have to make Dak Prescott uncomfortable in the pocket and really force him out of his spot. And I think you do that with blitzing, because the New Orleans Saints defensive line, we haven't seen much pressure. I know Kalen Saunders is out, and he's a great run blocker, but we just haven't seen enough pressure from the New Orleans Saints defensive line just yet, or in the last season and a half, that would, you know, make me feel like they can get there with the front four. But if they can, then, you know, our secondary can do the job. I know Marshawn Lattimore is questionable going into the game, but if we can have him against CeeDee Lamb, I mean, hey, like, hey, we ready to go. But I feel very confident in Alontae Taylor as well as Paulson Adebo in the secondary as well. So at least the question, what's the key to success for the New Orleans Saints offense? And that's, I believe the same game plan as last week. Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave on the quick passes, and trying to create as many opportunities for Rashid Shaheed at all times. But I think the key will be the tight ends for the New Orleans Saints. The tight ends will win the game for the New Orleans Saints offensively if they can get open, if they can create plays, if they can break a tackle, convert third downs. I believe that the key to the game is through three players: Foster Moreau, Jawan Johnson, and Taysom Hill. I believe we're going to see Alvin Kamara do what Alvin Kamara does, but I believe a lot of the attention from the Dallas defense will be on Alvin Kamara. So I'm going to say that the job for Derek Carr is to look for the and I know we always kind of cape on him for this, but look for the quick passes. Don't test the secondary if you don't have to, unless it's open, unless it's there a cushion in the zone. But I believe that the tight ends will be the key to the game. I believe defensively, force Dak Prescott out of his spot, and that will be the key to win the game. But I do not think the Saints are the underdog that the league thinks they are, that the media thinks they are, and I don't think Dallas thinks they're an underdog either. I've seen a lot of commentators, a lot of just different analysts over the week saying, hey, New Orleans Saints are a team to beat. The New Orleans Saints are a team to beat. Now, I know Tampa looks good, and I know Atlanta's supposed to be the super team. Moment of silence taken. But what I'm saying is the New Orleans Saints are a team that, if they can get the win in Dallas, will be one of the threats of the league. And we're going to have to see what happens on Sunday. We're going to have to see. We're about 24 hours from the game. So I don't know what we're going to see, y'all. But I know the New Orleans Saints do have a chance. And I think it's going to be one of those tight Dallas New Orleans Saints games. All the Saints fans that went to Dallas, have a good time. You know, enjoy yourself, because there's like a little fandom. I'm not going to say organization rivalry, but there's a little fandom rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys fans and the New Orleans Saints fans. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great game. We can't wait to see what happens in Dallas tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to see what our New Orleans Saints do, but that's just my quick preview. Remember, force Dak out of his spot, the tight ends, and that's the key to the game for the New Orleans Saints. But thank you guys for watching. Before I go, if you haven't been here before, then you might not know that I always do a Merv Speak segment where I kind of give some encouraging words to help us through the days, through our weeks. And I know that over the next couple months, it's going to be heavily about the family, love, connecting with loved ones, relationships, building, and just connecting with the holidays coming up and football season and different sporting events. We're all going to be connected with our loved ones, friends, and relatives. And I just kind of want to talk about a theme that is always prevalent during those times. And that's a theme that, we all struggle with, I think, during this time. And that's people pleasing. And I think it's one of those things that, we mean the best for others. And sometimes we can overextend ourselves. Sometimes we can stress ourselves, whether that's work, whether that's with friendships, whether that's with relationships. We can always lose ourselves if we begin to people please. So one thing that I've learned, one thing that I've read this week, I actually just read it this morning, when it comes to those stressful times where there's so many relationships to tend to and everything like that, I think the most important thing to remember is, does this exemplify the love of God? Does this exemplify loving the person the best way? Am I trying to glorify them, or am I trying to elevate them, or am I trying to make myself feel better? Which are things we can't do. It's got to be about giving glory to God. It's got to be about giving glory and just wanting the best for each other. So if you find yourself ever in a people-pleasing situation, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, the first thing to ask yourself is, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for self-approval? Am I doing it to get the approval from them? Or am I doing it to show them the ultimate love of God and really, hope for the best for both parties? So it's just something to think about from your boy. I'm just thinking about it. I know holidays coming up. It's a lot of different things pulling at us from different angles. So it's just something to think about. It's just something that's been prevalent in my conversations lately. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. If it applies to you, maybe take it, take it and use it. But thank you guys for listening to the show. Thank you guys for watching. I can't wait to see what the Saints do tomorrow. Y'all don't even know. Like I'm hyped. Like I've been talking about this game all week, and if the Saints go in there and get the win, y'all ain't gonna hear the end of it from me. So thank you guys for watching. Be blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Who dat?